Cycling popularity is on the rise. USA Today reports there's been a 60% increase in cyclists from this time in 2010. Those who advocate for cycling will cite the benefits upon their own health as well as the environmental benefits. But with these health benefits become a major risk of injury or death. My name is Dustin Bowling, and I'm here in Mr. Hinkle's driver's ed class to talk to you guys about why it's important to share the road with cyclists, especially at this critical time when you're about to embark on driving for the first time. And I believe that it's critical that the more you know now, from a young age beginning to drive, the better off we'll be as a society, really. Think about this. In 2014, there were 726 cycling fatalities. Also in 2014, there were 50,000 cycling injuries. Now, of those 50,000 injuries, 29% of those were caused from the cyclist being hit by a motor vehicle. So you're probably thinking, well, those 29% that got injured were probably kids just wandering out in the street and didn't really have a know-how of the rules of the road or really respect other rules of the road. But I really think that you'll be surprised with this next number. The average age of a cyclist killed by a motor vehicle is the age of 45 years old. See, these are not kids wandering out into the street unknowing of the rules. These are adults, mature adults that know the rules. Okay, so why is Dustin Bowling here talking to my class, driver's ed class? What does this mean to me? I don't even really ride a bike. I haven't ridden a bike since I was a kid. Well, I think if we start right here in these driver's ed classes and start to build this culture of mutual respect between cyclists and drivers alike, it will lead to a significant decrease in the amount of injuries and fatalities caused by crashes between the two categories. Okay, so you, the driver, you're 16, you're about to get that driver's license if Mr. Hinkle signs off on it. So what can you do? First, let's think about space. See, as a driver, you can never have too much space, but you can get caught real quick with not having enough space, and this is where problems arise. So I'm sure Mr. Hinkle has talked to you about the 3 seconds in between cars at 60 miles an hour. Well, think about this. A cyclist can stop 40% faster than a car can. Your car is sometimes 2-3 tons. A bicycle is significantly less weight than that, and it can stop on a dime. And I know your cars are not able to do that. So this is why it is important to have more space than you would even between you and a cyclist. And this is both passing and when you're behind. So when it's behind, it makes more sense, but when you're passing, it's important to give yourself some space from that cyclist. This not only makes you have that warm and fuzzy, but it gives the cyclist that warm and fuzzy as well. Also, respecting the bike lanes in your city. Riding around the city a lot, you can see a lot of people just parked into the cycling lanes, and this is what causes cyclists to have to go on the road. They have these lanes that are made for them, but they're not able to use them because motorists are parking in them. Now, say you were to follow too close with the cyclist and were to clip them with a mirror per se, that cyclist gets hurt. In many states, including here in New York, this is a criminal offense that could lead to jail time to you. And even worse, what if you were to injure or kill that person? How would that make you feel? How would you be able to go on with life thinking that if you were just given a little bit more space, you could have prevented this whole accident? Now, the onus is not only on you as the drivers. The reason I bring this up here is that it is important that drivers know all this, and it is easier for you to go around a cyclist or slow down and then speed up to go around when it's safe than it is for a cyclist to do the same. But cyclists have a huge part in this as well. Again, this is that mutual respect that we're trying to build. What's important for cyclists is cyclists to be predictable. I get a lot of complaints talking about cyclists not being predictable and kind of weaving around traffic and going to roads. This is not okay for them to do. And this is what leads to some of those accidents. Along those lines, it's important for a cyclist to use hand signals. That way he can be predictable and drivers know when he's trying to turn. Also, alarmingly, in 2016, we've seen a rise of headphones, cyclists wearing headphones. This can also lead to a lot of accidents because as a cyclist, usually we don't have mirrors on the bikes. So hearing traffic behind you is one of the only ways to know it's there. Also, cyclists riding within their biking teams, where many cyclists are, it's important that cyclists are in single file line. Again, bottom line I just want to bring up to you guys in this short speech is that this mutual respect that we're trying to build and cycling safety, this is a two-way street. We need to be able to share the roads, and it's important that both sides of this really come together and work on this as a whole. And I think if we do, we'll dramatically decrease the number of injuries and fatalities that we have on our roads today. Thank you.